go. That was big-brained as fuck. I wish somebody was here to have witnessed that.
Titan writing.
I didn't want to hit the same.
Good thing that's not a thing in some language.
Did you see that? That was so weird. Oh my god. Just bops him in the back with the deep body. I was not ready for that. I didn't know that was a thing. Yeah, the internet pooped as it tends to do. And, yeah. Anyway. You're so dumb.
Google agrees with me.
Google's wrong. I've literally done it.
Hands, but he enjoys working with his head.
You'll say with his hand.
Yeah.
It's just the internet fucking just always fails over here. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, the internet in this particular location is absolute trash.
Like, the internet went down sometimes in Chicago, but
Sometimes.
in Chicago, the internet was a titan, a behemoth in comparison to this.
Much rather work with my head. That's what you said. You're right. Absolutely right.
You know, what's funny, we initially got him something else.
That's exactly what she said. You're right.
He left the initial one he had in Texas behind.
And we didn't have space. Or rather, we didn't have space for it that I could make safe for a glass object.
Even one as thick as that. So we left that one behind in Texas. I want to say we found another one in Chicago, didn't we?
Yeah, this is probably the fourth one we've brought at this point.
But yeah, we just fucking managed to find them everywhere.
With your head to do what I do, but I think I enjoy working with my hands.
That's not the choice Cynthia made. Friends. Shit, tell him what you said.
That's sad.
Sorry, it's just, this is actually the angle I drink it at, so like, this is aimed perfectly, so I apologize.
So, the logo you're looking at
is Bang.
There you go.
Yeah.
But I could see how it looks like TikTok for sure.
Does it?
The TikTok symbol, kind
I'm
of.
sorry,
Hold on,
don't
what
fight,
is
kids, don't fight. All right, Barbara, what's
But I will keep it turned for.
Well, my weird husband is really a brain.
So it's not the same for sure, but it's similar enough.
Okay, I mean, I guess I could see it.
Like I said, it's not making him
You're gonna say
It keeps hitting your peripheral.
right. It's in the corner, so like at a glance you might think it's
all
it.
right, Richard, you're laughing
So
already.
I will keep it turned is fine.
Problems when I get home tonight, that's
Let
all.
me rephrase this in
You
general.
don't know what this show does to people, Bert. On our way home in the car, punching and hitting. I said she wouldn't kick the machine. You know what she's going to do to me on the way home? She's gonna
Answer the questions.
ever see a steering wheel jammed right in a guy's mouth?
No, it's fine. I don't mind.
Dick,
Doesn't
in
bother
general,
me any.
Do you enjoy working
Wait,
more
you're
with
not
your
her
hands
dad?
Or with your head, sir?
That's probably for the best.
Or
Not that my dad is a horrible person, but he's definitely
actually working, really
not
working with my hands.
super
Good.
present.
Good lord.
That's not what Barbara said, Dickie. She said your head because you like to write a lot.
You know what one of the worst parts is that this also causes problems. Because again, YouTube is shit at this.
And there it is. The blue section Richard will come back with the signal of time.
What's wrong with
I don't know. I'm just trying to get to the goddamn...
No, it's not made for kids. No. Yeah, even Zena has the restriction on. Actually, I don't. You don't? You really should. You.
And
of
I'm
all
pretty
people.
sure that Zena has the age warning. I really don't. You don't? You really should.
You, of all people.
Oh, man.
God, those highlights were great.
God, I miss the days when we just all hung out in calls regularly. I don't know if we missed an extra question here.
No, I'm trying to.
Everybody won very
Brain.
well this week, as a matter of fact. Tell us. A terrific.
We answered it. I just don't recall what it was.
It's a construction work. I'd say she. That's what I had in mind when I said, George. What do you think?
No, yeah, we're definitely past the question. What are you doing?
Hold on.
Back to your answer in a minute. I mean, I've walked by a bunch of construction workers and they've whistled, haven't you?
Oh, I think that this is the...
Would you be disappointed?
Yeah, this is the question is that if you walked by construction workers and you didn't get catcalled, would you be disappointed? I'm not sure she'd notice if she was.
I don't
Like, unless they made it really fucking obvious. Okay, so, like, funny story about that, and I know that we've answered this question on the stream before.
We have.
She wouldn't give a fuck either way. But, here, I legitimately don't think she'd notice if she did get catcalled, and here's why. There's construction fucking everywhere. And there's not, like, any particularly quiet areas around here, unless you're in a large park where there's nothing going on, and you're not going to get catcalled in the middle of North Creek Park, are you? Not by a construction worker, anyway.
I mean, the closest I've come to that recently is one, like...
People driving by.
Yeah, we're walking back from Mod Pizza or something, or grocery store, something along those lines. We were walking back...
It was Mod Pizza.
And we were talking,
Speaking
and
of.
I just hear... I just hear from back this way...
Hey,
like,
can I get your number?
But no, it was just like a hey, and like I wasn't sure he was talking to me, so like I looked back anyway, and it was like, yeah, you, and I turned back, and then I was like, wait, what? And then they're like, yeah, can I get your number? And I was like, okay, bye. Like, what?
You shouldn't even verbalize a response. You should just be
like yes, I'm gonna walk up to a car. In traffic.
This kid was like 16 or something.
Definitely
like,
young.
It was definitely likely not of age, but she don't look like she's of age either, except here.
Evidently, most of the comments I get about my age, like I look like I'm 18 to 20. Do you want to live? Just $50? No, I'm good. But yeah, like I mean, I don't really know how to respond when people do it. Mostly because people don't do it terribly often, but it's still just one of those things like, yes, I'm gonna walk up to your car in traffic and hopefully give you my number or get yours before the light turns green and you're holding up like, I'm gonna risk my life just to give you my number. Like, yeah, no, I'm gonna fucking do
like
that.
If you remember the last time that we were walking down the pier next to Pike Place, in between Pike Place and the Curiosity Shop, right? Remember how much fucking construction was over there? I think that there's any chance in shit.
I didn't see a whole lot of workers. I saw a lot of roped off stuff.
There was a lot of workers. But see, that actually improves, it proves my point. If she'd gotten catcalled by somebody that was working construction that way, she wouldn't have noticed because she didn't even realize they existed.
10. 3, 3, and 4. That's how I remember numbers.
10.
Is how they're hyphenated. So it's 3-3-4.
So that's actually one of the ways that I was one of the things I wanted to learn for GeoGuessr, because I always thought, like, even in the impoverished countries, and even in the dirt mound countries, every so often you'd spot a phone number, and if you remembered phone formats, you would know, okay, I'm at least in one of these 3 countries. And like, if you were GeoGuessing, that would be a superpower, knowing phone formats. I mean,
when it comes to numbers in general, I'm kind of wishy-washy. Like, if I was trying to remember area codes, I know some offhand US-wise, but yeah, there's too many to remember in particular. But
right, but I mean, like, you know, I think if I was still doing GeoGuessr, which I might do at some point again, not from here because the internet connection is too much of a cock punch, but if I was to ever to get back into GeoGuessr, that's definitely something I would want to focus on, is knowing what what formats of phone numbers exist where. And
You also need to get good at flags.
God, I'm so trash at flags.
Yeah, you are.
I need, like, you know what I would need? And they probably already have these. They probably already have flashcards that are specifically flags
Almost
of
definitely.
countries.
You could find some website that's basically a flashcard thing, and it would go through the flags. Yeah.
I should get that.
I was going to say that's almost certainly
so fucking ass
free
at
and
that.
a quick Google search away.
But then there's also, like, remembering what, like, countries are, like, what, like, website, like, .he. I don't remember what .he was. I just remember that it's not a country that starts with HE.
.ca, .uk.
.ca is easy, .uk is easy, .ru is easy.
Tiny flag.
I want to say that China is not CH.
No.
And I don't remember what it was. I want to say that .ch was like
Chile?
Chile. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
I want to say that Hungary was not HU, and I don't remember what it was. I know that there was a few that Etizian taught me, or told me, it's this because of this reason, because it's not known as that in the region or whatever. I don't remember. It's
China's
been too
a
long.
CN.
CN? See, I'm not sure I ever knew that, actually.
I find it funny that...
And Japan is EZJP. It's fucking...
Yeah.
Like...
I find it funny that US
it
is
should
not...
be... Okay, then which one am I thinking of?
US is not .us. It's .com. Or .net. Or, something along those lines.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, no, the US doesn't have one. Presumably because the technology for the internet more or less started here, so we didn't really need a country code. Mexico is MX. And I'm sure that there's some countries that just don't have enough infrastructure to have that... suffix.
So yeah, HU is Hungary.
See, yeah, and there was one that you pointed out where, like, what the locals call the country is what the domain suffix actually stands for, because I remember in some case I was like, this country starts off with, like, PA. Why the hell is the country code ZI or some shit? And you told me, oh yeah, it's because this fucking area is actually called this by the people that live there. Chernogora. Interesting.
Yeah, it's weird. Websites are weird. Domains are weird.
I think it probably depends on, like when they make whoever makes the decision on what the domain is going to be, it's probably based on if the goal is built around, like, if you want e-commerce, then you need to use the name that most of the world is familiar with. So if the world calls the area Montenegro and only the locals really call it Chernogora, then if you want any chance of the rest of the world being able to do e-commerce with your country, then using a suffix that the rest of the world would be familiar with makes more sense. But I don't know, like something like Montenegro, like, we want to do e-commerce with the US. I doubt that that's going to happen, bro. BA, bruh. But no, yeah, those were two of the things that I like really, really, really was trying to make sure that I was paying attention to in GeoGuessr was phone number formats and domain suffixes. But, like, phone numbers, like 1-800...
US.
But do you know it's not anywhere else?
US, Canada,
See,
maybe.
I think 1-800 is also a
Probably.
thing in Canada, but
Maybe
I
Mexico.
can't prove it. I don't know. And believe it or not an easy answer to find on the internet.
Yeah.
You're like 1-900s, which, by the way, I haven't seen any of in a long fucking time. .me, yeah. But like, like phone number formats is a weird thing because like some of them use spaces, some of them use dashes. But the worst part is that like, so in some areas you'll have like, you know, a +02 space 00 space 03 space 4128 space 1.
So
but like the problem is that some places will post their phone number, no spaces. So I have no fucking clue what format that.
I know the plus followed by the number is usually the country code. So U.S.'s country code is +1.
That may have been you.
I don't know. I can't tell. Nevertheless, U.S.'s country code is +1. But the +02 I wouldn't know, but I'm fairly certain that's the country code then followed by the phone number. So if you could memorize country codes, then you have a decent chance when you see them.
So pause. See,
they're
okay,
also not used all the time.
So you're both technically wrong because, like, yes, it's technically the country code, but no, it's technically not the country code. It's a region code. And the reason I split the difference on that is because, yes, it would still help to memorize them, but there are some places where just like how some states are not, like Delaware is not big enough to have its own 3-digit entity in the phone system. It's shared with nearby entities. So you have to understand the same thing is true in countries, that there's going to be some places where like this region is plus digits, and that doesn't necessarily nail down specific country, but it could help me narrow down whereabouts I'm looking. But yeah, that would also help too. But then again, you also have scenarios where, like, just like here, a lot of the time instead of having, you know, +1 817 284 4254 whatever, which by the way is a very, 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 very old phone number of mine that I had back when I was like 10. So, not exactly a useful piece of information. But you don't get a +1. A lot of places, they're not even going to bother to show you the country code. But in some places, you can't make a phone number without entering the country code.
I was about to say, is like there's a lot of places, like various apps, various websites, they'll ask for my phone number, and sometimes they'll ask for a country code, sometimes they won't. Sometimes they'll put it in themselves. Like Uber puts in it has you select the country code and then put in your phone number. But that's not always a guarantee. That's not always a requirement. So a lot of people, like, they'll put the country and then the country code. So also there's that. So if I was in GeoGuessr on the ground in Serbia and I was looking for the +381, I'm sure that there's a sign or two that show it. You'd probably be more likely to see that on signs that show phone numbers close to the border, where having the differentiating factor that yes, it's on this side. Right, like here in the U.S., you hardly see any advertisement on the street anywhere that has country code. Like it's not gonna have the +1.
I remember back when our country didn't even bother to use fucking the area code. Yeah, like when I say 817-284-4254, but when I was a kid it was just 284-4254. No 817 at all. See, that's the phone thing. That's why I said it would be a superpower, because it's not something that you can just easily study and just, oh, hey, I know the phone numbers now. No, you'd have to fucking memorize a lot, because you're gonna have to remember what that region is, because it's not always country specific. It's not always specific to a particular set of cities. It's usually just like its own defined area, and the variances. It'd be like trying to memorize Texas by the 9 fucking area codes that it has.
There's so much more than that.
Well, if Texas has that many area codes, well then how many area codes does Russia have?
I was about to say, I was like, DFW has like 6 on its own.
Okay, so when it comes to like the battle royale, all you're trying to do is figure out what country you're in. So the U.S. is usually very, very easy. But like Dallas Fort Worth, it's an area of Texas. It's like the main metropolitan area aside from Austin and Houston.
It's 2 major cities that are close enough that most people just kind of squish them together.
Well, like, see, okay, there's one really, really, really hypercritical piece of information in GeoGuessr that's actually very easy to memorize that I never did. What countries don't have Google Maps? Because some of them don't. There are some countries that outright, like, did not allow Google to map their country. And, like, just knowing which ones don't have any coverage at all. Because, like, GeoGuessr operates on Street View. So there's some countries that have maps, but this did not allow Street View. And it's like, so just narrowing down which ones don't have Street View. That's, like, hypercritical piece of information. That'll strike out so many of your bad guesses in Battle Royale. I never could fucking memorize it, which countries don't have it. Anyway, that is a lot of shit about GeoGuessr and phone numbers and fucking domain names and...
How did we even get here?
I don't know, catcalling.
Catcalling.
I don't know how that turned into GeoGuessr.
It got to phone numbers because I had mentioned the dude who asked for mine in the car, and then he asked questions about phone numbers, and we just...
okay.
And saying if you could memorize...
Wow, what a fucking route, dude.
If you could memorize country codes, that would help in GeoGuessr, and yada yada. Anyway, off that topic. We're done. I think we've said all that we can really say about that. There's probably more, but... also unnecessary.
Workers at lunchtime and nobody whistles. Would you be disappointed?
I don't
Think
get
it over,
people
ladies.
whistling
We'll come
at
back to
me.
your answer in a minute.
Like at all.
Again, I don't think that you know. I think that you would just straight up, like, a whistle is just a whistle. I don't think that you'd even realize. I think it would just go, and it wouldn't make a shit to you.
If we're in a fairly crowded area, no, I'm not going to assume it was at me. If I'm like, if I can tell I'm the only person walking by and there's a cat call or a whistle, then I'll probably assume it's towards me and not give a fuck, or turn around just to
You see where he's going? You see the logic there. So you're gonna say
maybe antagonize the dude, but
I
don't know. For the most part,
I'd say no, but I mean, with her, who knows? She'll probably.
I don't get cat
you'll
called
say
or whistled pretty much at all, so I don't really care.
Let's bring her on. Alana, would you be disappointed if those construction workers didn't whistle at you at lunch?
Oh, God, yes.
Thanks, Alana.
I don't believe it. You know, that's really funny, Bert, because it's always annoyed me when I walk down the street and a lot of construction workers yell and whistle. I just get furious and I think, oh, how dare they? But I just thought about the question when you asked it, and I realized if they didn't, I'd be annoyed.
Exactly. You'd say,
Thanks,
hey,
I think what was wrong with me?
what's the matter, right?
Yeah, right.
All right, I'm
Thanks,
sorry.
I'll
No
be
score
talking
there,
to you
George.
later.
What's wrong with it?
Give it to him, Alana. Give it to him. Scoy, what about Claire? How would she feel?
Well, you said to George if Lana walked by and, hey, blonde, you know. I think if my wife walked by and was, hey, blondie, you know.
Can't win no matter what. I'm annoyed if you do, I'm annoyed if you don't.
My wife is vain, as most women are, and I think she'd be quite perturbed.
You think so? I think, what was
Something
something
I
I said?
Something I said.
I think she'd be, I would be disappointed if she
Hard.
walked by and they didn't whistle.
Right.
Because they whistle at an orangutan.
Yeah, right. So you figured.
And I think she's better looking than an orangutan.
You're
so too.
digging yourself
Well,
into a
it's a
hole,
matter of
sir. You
taste.
might want
All
to
right,
just
never
stop.
mind. Let's moving right along.
I've seen some pretty groovy orangutans.
All right, now, Scoy.
Bruh.
Dude, stop. Scoey.
Here she comes. Don't give it away. Don't say a word. Let's bring on Claire. Claire,
Yes,
would you be
baby.
disappointed if those construction workers didn't whistle at you at lunchtime?
Yes, I would.
That's what the man said. You're right. You have a share of the pot, Claire, and also I bet your share of whistles, no doubt.
I don't really understand being so starved for,
Marcy's gonna say.
you know, just the sight of a woman that you gotta whistle, because, like, I was like, I mean, you just go literally anywhere public, you'll see plenty of women.
She'll say, no, she won't be disappointed. But the reason the guys didn't whistle is because their mouth went dry when they saw her.
From the sheer wonder of it all.
Yeah.
You're going to say she would not be disappointed.
Right.
Whoa. Has it ever happened that you know of that you've been walking down the street with Marcy and they have not whistled and she has not been disappointed?
Well, she was preceded by an orangutan.
Oh, I see. The question has absolute validity. Let's bring on Marcy. Don't say anything. Marcy, would you be disappointed if those construction workers failed to whistle at you?
No.
That's what the man said. You're absolutely right, Marcy.
And people were dogging on him for saying no.
You're right. George and Alana will fight it out in the next question, and we'll come back and see who's going to win all of the next ones after this message for you. Come on back with us. See you, Dr.
United.
We have 5 notes.
Here we come. The second question coming your way. Let's start with you, Scoey, this time.
Are they great?
Let's get the answers from the girls first, shall we? Or get the question out first, shall we? I don't know what I'm talking about here. Ladies.
Little change throws you, doesn't it?
Yeah. Boy, I tell you. Ladies, here's the question for you. It's worth $150 as well. Are you still with me on there?
We're here.
The famous Follies producer Flo Ziegfeld once said that the ideal measurements for a showgirl were 36, 24, 36. Now, how many of these measurements do you match? 1, 2, or all 3, or none? Now let me read that again in English.
God.
Absolute zero.
Moving on.
36, 20. Let's bring Marcy on and
It never works that way.
Oh.
Life is a changing thing.
Step to the rear, Jack. Are you ready? Okay. Hey, Bill is in the lead, but it's not over, fellas. You can catch him. Here we go. This one's worth $150. Ladies, fellas.
Watch it.
Men, do you care as much about looking young as your wife does?
Neither one of us.
No, I was about to say
Men,
neither of
do
us
you
give a
care
fuck,
as much
so
about looking young
yes.
as your wife does.
We care the same amount, which is not at all.
Just a moment. All right, grannies.
So the question
about George?
answer is yes. It is like people point out my gray hair. Some people say they're jealous, and it's like, okay,
I don't know. I think he's gonna say
I don't know what you want from me.
But
I like my gray hairs too.
deep inside.
Some people will be like, oh wow, you have a lot of gray hairs. It's like,
Let's see.
what's your
Double
point?
$300 riding on this one. Fellas, if you are ready, we are
I don't
ready.
get
Here
it.
it
I don't
comes.
care.
Men, which of you is more often possessed by that green-eyed monster better known as jealousy? You or your wife? Which of you is more often possessed by that
As a
green-eyed
default,
monster
I guess I
better
would
known
say
as
me.
jealousy? You
Because you
or
just
your
don't
wife?
care at
See,
all.
what are you usually jealous about?
Between
I'm
you
not,
and George,
but
Lana,
I'm about to say, do you have a twinge every so often when I say she's cute?
I think George.
well, no, I think sometimes when you're like
We'll see what he says.
messaging
Okay, you
girl
say
or like
George.
you're in girls'
Let's bring
streams
him
all the
on.
time, I'm just like, you're not talking to me,
Between
but
you
we
and Lana,
live
George, who
together.
is more
so I
jealous,
don't-
would you say?
I don't know. Like, I'm
definitely.
weird.
That's what you
I don't typically get jealous, but if I was, I don't know.
You're absolutely right, George. And you
I
have a
probably
share of the
am
big
more
pot.
often
You're
than
jealous,
he
huh?
is because he's
Okay,
never.
Claire, how about between you and Scoey?
But
We don't have that problem too much.
I don't tend
But
to be
I'm gonna say I
jealous.
am.
I don't
You're
know.
going to say you
Yeah.
are.
How do you
All right. I'm glad to hear that. Let's bring on Scoey. Scoey, between you and Claire, who is more jealous?
My wife said me.
No, that's not what you said, Scoey. Guess what she said?
My wife said she.
That's right. But second guesses don't count. I'm sorry. No score there. Marcy, what's Bill going to say?
Gee, I don't know. I don't think either of us are very jealous at all. Maybe I have an edge. So
Huh?
I'll
No,
say
we
me.
don't have any
We're
particular
today,
plans
so,
up
so
next.
you have an
I was
edge.
thinking we
All
probably
right,
would
let's bring
both
on Bill and find out.
stream something.
Bill, between you and Marcy,
I would
who
like
is
a
the
break
more
for
jealous?
food, but that's about it.
That's
That's
what
dumb.
she said, yeah.
Why? Do you got something in mind?
I said we could watch stuff if we wanted to watch stuff, but
We would just
No,
need
we
to
don't.
get food first.
yeah.
Mod pizza sounds pretty fucking good.
I do have a chicken breast that I need to make, but we could do mod pizza and I could make that.
How long has the chicken been in there?
We'll come back in a moment.
since I put it in probably Wednesday or Thursday. It's been a few days.
Oh, okay.
It needs to get taken care of.
Oh, no. We didn't have any plans.
Like I said, we could if you wanted, but...
Banana and Red, each one rooting for one of our celebrity couples.
But if you're going to bed, then...
And his wife.
No, we don't have time.
Just pulling his pants. We'll get to it. You know, I never pick on anything like that, but I just thought we'll get to that
Yeah,
later,
we can do
all
my
right?
pizza and then I can make the chicken tonight.
Three faces up
That's
there.
the question you ask the audience for the big prize.
Yeah, that's the big one.
What
Which
time
guy
is it?
has a hole in
All right, girls, this question is for you. It's worth $150, and here it is. Ladies.
And I don't have to look.
No, all right.
Hey, you got a hole in your pants.
Ladies, if a friend of your husband made advances to you and then realized his folly and apologized, would you tell your husband about it?
I would tell him anyway.
As soon as everything settles down here. If a friend of your husband's made advances to you, and
Let's see, they have the built-in assumption that
it would be
this
negative.
Is, yeah, that this is a really terrible situation. Where it is like, okay.
Come back and tell us your answers in just a second.
I think I'd be bothered by the Jonathan situation if he hadn't talked to me about it. But he talked to me about it. I was like, dude, like, I mean, that's up to her. I don't give a shit.
Don't give him cash.
No, but don't give him cash. No, I think what it...
Because he's liable to make an advance.
It could say, if a friend of your husband, I think, made a pass, would be probably more understandable English for you, George.
At the crap table.
No. Just, if the husband's... Never mind. You understand what I mean. Bill, what's Marcy going to say?
Marcy is going to say that we talk as much about everything as we can. So I think ultimately the story would come out. That I'd pop the guy. He'd pop me, I'd need plastic surgery, and she'd remarry.
Honestly, I think any relationship in which one or both of the partners are being treated as though they belong to the other person, that's a toxic mindset from the word jump. Like that's just not healthy.
We know that
But I have a tendency to tell him, I was like, oh yeah, at school, oh yeah, I think such and such was flirting with me.
The first
Okay.
time, my answer would be
How about the second time?
yes.
The first time you said no, that's wrong. That's not what Bill said. He said he thought you would.
No, I don't think I would.
Gee, am I glad to hear that?
Bruh.
Because I tell you, I'm not going to do it again. Because the second time he's going to get me. I'm sorry, no share the pot.
And I turn it off stunned and put it on.
Put it on display, yes. All right, George, how about Alana?
Yeah, I didn't know he preferred to go by Bill
Secretive, and she didn't want to. She doesn't really like to get
until I started watching
I
this.
dropped my card, I'm sorry.
I thought maybe this is the big one. I'm going. And I don't think she would tell me. I think she'd admit it if I got her, caught her.
Caught her? She's not the one flirting.
What he wants to know is, what are you laughing at, Scoy?
I ain't gonna do it again either.
I'm not going to touch it anymore. I'm just going to say, no, she wouldn't tell me, and we'll move right on to...
No, she wouldn't
the
tell you.
king here.
Okay. Now, never mind, Scoy. I know what you have in your mind. I know
Tell
the line
Dale
you're
all
playing
about
with
it.
there. Let's bring on Alana. Alana, would you tell George about this friend, or would you not?
I wouldn't.
That's right. That's what he said. We're having a wonderful time out here with this question, Alana, in case you
I
can't
can
tell.
imagine.
Oh, yes. It's going very well. You have a share of the pot, love. How about Claire Scoy? What's she going to say about that? Would she tell you about this fella? This friend who...
I think a lot of it would have to do with who it was.
Yes.
Now, she has spoken any number of times about you, Bert. Cool. You know?
I'm remaining very cool now, but my heart is going...
No, I don't... My wife is a grown woman, and my wife can pretty much handle her own affairs.
You're
Choice of words, but
You said it. I I didn't.
No, I don't think she would.
You don't think she'd tell you?
No.
You'll say no. Let's bring on Claire. Claire, what would you do now in that situation? Would you tell Scully about it or would you not?
No, I wouldn't.
You're right. Well done.
All these women are just like, nah, I would talk to him about it. Why?
There it is on the
I want to know the psychology behind your answers.
I imagine a lot of it is that they feel like there's no need.
Probably, but at the same time, it's just like, I don't know. Even the
You're at
unnecessary
someone's home.
stuff I talk about, so.
Here we are. Question number 2 coming up. It's for you, ladies. It's worth $150, and here it is. Girls, you're at someone's home for the first time at a party. You make a trip to the powder room upstairs. Now tell the truth. After leaving the powder room, would you take a few minutes to do a little upstairs snooping? Don't say anything now. You're at someone's home for the first time. You make a trip to the powder room upstairs. Now tell us the truth. After leaving the powder room, would you take a few minutes to
It'll be too late because of the stream delay.
I'll be dead.
Ladies, we'll come back to your answer in just a moment.
I'll be dead. What?
Okay, George.
You're the one
Why do you
staring
think
at
you're the
me.
one in danger?
What do you think? Would
You're the one
Alana
staring at me.
be curious yellow? You should pardon the pun. We're in the yellow section.
First,
I can't tell what's a blink and what's pixels.
working with Murph the Surf.
I missed the question.
But I would say that that's
You're
a
at
little
someone's
inside
house
joke
for the
you
first
got.
time. You go upstairs to use the powder
We're on a roll.
room.
Moving right
Are you going to
on
do
here.
some snooping while you're up there? Do you think I
I
would
would
snoop?
say that no. Alana's she respects privacy tremendously, hers and yours. Not yours, but anyway.
I think anybody, if they see something outrageous enough, are gonna be like, "What the fuck is that?"
She would
But I
definitely
mean,
She wouldn't do it.
No, she's
You're
very
not-
good. That's one of the reasons I'm married to her.
Oh, really? Doesn't snoop
Well, no,
around a lot,
it's not
huh?
necessarily saying snooping.
check out the medicine cabinet. Is she crazy? Psychosis pills.
Those aren't going to be in the guest bathroom. Anyway,
Would you go and do a little snooping, or
What
would
makes you
you
think
not?
there's a guest bathroom?
I don't think I would, Bert, because I wouldn't like anyone to do it.
I mean,
It said the powder room. It
they
didn't
said
say
you go up to the powder room. Would you do some snooping also while you're up there? Not necessarily just the
Right.
It was
bathroom.
very nice of him to say that.
That is the
You
bathroom.
ever share the pot?
Not
Thank
just
you.
the bathroom.
That's what the
rest of-
powder. No, that's what the powder room is.
But they're not asking just the bathroom. Would you snoop
No,
around the entire
You
upstairs? while
totally
you're up
skipped
there?
over. You see, you do this where you make assumptions. You don't even realize that you did. They never said guest bathroom. They just said the powder room. You added guest.
Well, that's not my entire point. Also, it's not. They're not saying that you would just snoop around the bathroom. People do that
That's
while they're
not what I
taking.
said either. I made a joke about psychosis pills, and you said that those wouldn't be in the guest bathroom. No one said guest but you.
Okay, that's beside the point. They said snoop. What can you snoop from a bathroom? I said it's not necessarily just asking if you would snoop the bathroom. If you would snoop from the entire upstairs.
You're also now skipping the portion where I responded.
No, I really don't know. So
Because when he said, what can you snoop from the bathroom, I said, the medicine cabinet, oh, psychosis pills. And then you said, that wouldn't be in the guest bathroom, even though no one the fuck else said anything about guest bathrooms.
I mean, if you're hosting a party, do you really want them in your bathroom?
Maybe that's the only fucking bathroom you have. Not everybody has a mansion like your mom.
These are famous people. They're gonna have a bigger
These
house.
aren't questions based on whether or not they have mansions. They just said the powder room. You are injecting so much evidence not given.
What houses do you
Assumes
know?
facts not in evidence constantly.
I mean, most houses are gonna have more than one bathroom.
Is this bourgeois multi-bathroom architecture?
Tested by these people?
Most houses are gonna have more than one bathroom.
False.
Have 3 bathrooms at home.
Well, it's your money, folks. I get paid.
Like,
when
I
you wanna
realize
lose.
the fact that there are 3 bathrooms at my mom's house is a little weird, but even if it's a 1-bedroom house,
How many say no?
Oh, boy.
house, they're gonna have like 1.5 baths.
You're assuming so much more than is
She
given.
won't look around. Let's bring her on and find out. Shh, don't say anything.
Why would the
I don't wanna give it
guest
away.
bathroom, in your mind, be the one that's
You come out of the powder
upstairs?
room, you're upstairs.
Depends
First
on the
time you've been
layout
in
of
this
the
house, you're
house.
gonna
Like,
take a look
evidently
around
there's
or
no
not.
bathrooms at all downstairs, or the only one that's downstairs is the master.
Making so many assumptions.
They said no, and he went with them, and you're absolutely right. Okay, Smarties. Bill.
I have no idea what any of these fuckers are saying because of your assumption.
Right, because we haven't talked over a lot of their responses this entire time.
I don't mean lifting. Marcia's curious. She might look around a little. I mean, look at the pictures and then decide not to.
Best friend kiss.
I don't have any of those.
We don't have guests in general.
Or friends.
Serious far, Marcy wouldn't touch a thing.
You may sit upon my throne.
Okay, the answer is no. Let's bring on Marcy.
Dickhead.
Now, don't say anything. We're having a best time, Marcy.
Yes, I bet.
Tell us, Marcy, what would you do? You're upstairs in that house now. You've never been there before.
Well,
so you
wait just a minute. Let's call it having an inquisitive mind and
Yeah.
say yes.
I'm sorry, that's not what he said. Yeah, the 50-50 chance
Let's
there,
call
Marcy.
it having an inquisitive mind. When you have to dress up with better language, you're fucking up and you know it.
We'll change places, fellas. Go on out here, ladies. While we're changing places, we'll break away for this message for you, and then we're coming right back. Come on back with us. See you then. Yes, I have the ladies with me. The fellas are in the back. Guys, you know the
Yeah,
score,
that
by the
is
way.
what I'm
You don't want to know, Bill.
Hey,
Bill, you have El Zippo at this point. I'm sorry. Zero, yes, I'm sorry.
Bert.
Yes.
But you know, I've been thrown by the fact that I keep hearing in the corridors, convoy is coming, convoy is coming. What do they mean?
I don't know. What do they mean?
Does that mean you're going on the Johnny Carson
Oh,
show?
yeah. Oh, that's nice of you to say. Tonight, if you happen to be around, thank you, Bill.
I thought you'd explain it.
Yeah, I'm gonna explain that, Bill. You're terrific. You know, tonight on the Johnny Carson show, I'm gonna host it, and if you happen to watch, my guests will be
That's what they mean.
Burt Reynolds and Carol Burnett, and some more surprises. Please look if you can. Okay. Thank you, Bill. Okay, here we go, gang. Moving right along with $150
Interesting.
question. Men, you and your wife have been called for jury duty. The defense attorney questioned you to see which of you would be more sympathetic to his client, who happens to be a little old man who is accused of flashing. That is exposing himself in public. Which of you do you think the defense attorney would pick to be on the jury?
Neither.
Let me rephrase that for you.
Very complicated.
You and your wife have been called for jury duty. The defense attorney questioned you to see which of you would be more sympathetic to his client. His client happens to be a little old man.
The question is not whether I would be more sympathetic, it's whether the attorney
Which of you do you think the defense attorney would pick to be on this jury? For the defense, that is. Think about it, fellas. We'll come back for your answers in a moment.
Why me?
Well, isn't that silly?
You look
Claire, we're going to start with you this time.
You do that.
unassuming.
What do you
I don't
think
know.
so?
That's not the word I'm
Which
really
one of
looking
you would
for.
be
But
more
Neither
likely
do
to
you
be
look.
the
You
defense
look
attorney
kind.
to be on this man's side. You'd be on the jury.
You don't look
You'd be to be
unkind.
more
What's your
sympathetic
point?
To this little old fellow who's been going around.
You can when you want your face to do something, but
I'm just gonna give you the answer. I'm not even gonna qualify.
All right. Who's it gonna be?
I think
this is a
someone
dumb
says-
question
You'll say
anyway. But
him. He would be the most likely candidate for
Yeah.
jury duty.
I mean, an old
If
man
he's more
flashing
sympathetic to
someone,
the fellow. Okay, that's
unless
very
we're
well.
talking about
Accused
you know,
of. So it could have just been that he tried to take a tinkle on a tree and someone happened to see his junk.
Right.
Or maybe they didn't see his junk. They just knew he was peeing and.
There's any number of situations in which case, but like, I don't know. None of us or both of us. It's hard. It's hard to say.
I'm very legal minded. I would want to know what the situation was and see it. Like, you know, if he was just urinating on a tree, why are you trying to look at his
Okay,
dick?
Marcy, what's Bill gonna say?
Right, or was he actually going around like a proper flasher in the trench coat and just?
We won't be sympathetic, but he probably think I'm more sympathetic in general, so he probably will say me.
He'll say the defense attorney would pick
He
you.
goofed a question before though, because you scared him, so I have to go with my instinct.
Yes, and don't scare him now. Now be nice.
Now you
Okay.
can stone me if I'm no.
Well, yeah. You can't go any lower anyway, Marcy. What the heck? You're gonna
Damn!
I still am. You say
I think they would pick me.
the defense. If you don't fall off your chair,
chair.
the defense attorney will pick you for the jury. Let's bring on Bill and find out. Bill, now who's the defense attorney going to pick? You or Marcy to be on the jury?
Well, if it had been a little old lady, he would have picked me. But since it's a little old man, he'd pick Marcy.
You are right, sir.
Well, see, here's the thing, though. There's also another... Because they're asking celebrity couples, right? They're not going to put William Shatner on the jury.
Yes.
Like, that's something you never, ever hear about a big-name celebrity serving on jury duty. And the reason for that is because it has a certain optics legally.
I think George will say he's going to pick George.
Have you ever gotten called for jury duty?
Yeah, but I haven't actually served as a juror.
I've never been called.
I waved at one of the people that was involved with the case, so I got struck.
I've never gotten called, but then I found out when I was at UTI that evidently school is not an adequate, like UTI in particular, is not an adequate reason to get out of jury duty.
Young fellow.
When I thought it was.
Which one of you do you think that defense
I thought if
attorney
you
would
could
pick
provide
as
evidence
being
that you're
more
in
sympathetic
school,
to the
that they would be like, okay.
I definitely say that.
Well, you were also in Texas. Texas doesn't give a fuck about anything.
You're all right, gang. We split the pot 3 ways. Very well done. Okay, there it is, and we'll come back in just a moment to find out who's going to win. That's, if you've noticed, gang, Bill, you have $50 and
Anyways, we're going to end the tattletaling here. We've been doing this for over 2.5 hours.
Men, this question is
We've only
worth
gotten through a few
$300. Which
episodes.
one of you enjoys being alone more often? You or your wife? Which one of you enjoys being
Define
alone
alone.
more often?
See, and I mean, like, he is alone fairly often, so I don't know if he would enjoy it more than I would if I had time to be alone. I don't know.
Right, see, like, okay, I think the easiest way to answer this would be, like, if we were stuck, attached to at the hip for an extended amount of time, who would desire to be left alone soonest? That would probably be me. But, like, yeah, see, like, we have enough time apart that we're not really worried about that. But when you talk about, like, alone, do you mean, like, alone, or simply, like...
doing separate things?
Yeah, like physically in different places as a couple, because, like, if I go to Pike Place Market, I'm damn sure not alone.
Whereas, sometimes...
At work, you're not alone.
And even just, in public, not alone, but, like... if we're talking about alone, just like doing separate things, we do that fairly often. He'll be at his computer, I'll be at mine. We're doing different shit. Even if we're both like playing the same game, we're doing different stuff together. So it is a weird question to try and answer, because it's like, I mean,
I'd say probably me, but we're splitting hairs.
See, yeah, because I mean, like I have work, and then I come home and we watch stuff together. I don't get a whole lot of alone time, so maybe me, but I
think like we have a healthy amount of separation and togetherness as it is. I don't think that we're hurting in either degree. I don't find myself getting lonely by the time that you're getting home.
Right, I do wish I had like I wish I had a car. There's nights where she'll to be alone in public. I don't like being on transit all the time. I wish I had a car. And I mean, like he's about to point out, there's times where I get off late and I have to wait even further into the night.
The gaps in the buses get wider later in the night because there's not as much need. So she'll like get out at a time where like the gap between like this 5:35 and the next one is like an hour and 40 minutes.
Like I'll get off just in time to miss the soonest 5:35 bus route and have to wait for the next one. So now I'm waiting for over an hour for the bus. The beeline from work to the transit center also starts to get further and further apart. But like I mean there is the waiting for the bus. That is the worst part of taking buses, is the waiting for the bus. The actual bus route is not that long. One is a total of like 5 minutes, and then the other one is like 20 to 27 minutes. That's honestly not very long at all. It's the waiting for the bus that sucks the most. But at the same time, like, I just wish I had, like, some alone time in my car, because I like to, you know, just daydream a bit, or I like to listen to music. And I mean, I get to listen to music at work, but it's not just a kind of a sit down time to decompress, because I can't really decompress on public transit, because I'm, you know, you're kind of having to be aware. I have to be aware at work, and then I get here, and like I said, I can kind of decompress here when we watch stuff, and that's fine. It's just, it's not the same as being able to sit on my own and just listen to music out loud and sing along to it, which is most of what I do in the car.
That's apparently all the buses. Or maybe those are stops.
I think those are stops.
Yeah. That's probably our internet. It doesn't look like I'm able to search
specific buses
for Pike Place Market specifically.
Mm-hmm.
But goddamn.
What about the internet?
You said we keep getting compressed?
No, sorry, you keep being compressed. Me.
Oh.
I said I don't have a whole lot of time to decompress. I mean, it's fine. That's just life. I'm not, like, I don't feel worn out because of it. I just wish I had that time more than anything. It's not like I need it. And like I said, I come home and it's fine, but the amount of time that I'm home on work nights is like, I'll have, especially because I get off a lot later and I have to take the bus, I'll have maybe 2 or 3 hours to hang out, watch stuff, eat something before I have to go to bed to try and get enough sleep.
I'll fuck with that later.
To wake up for work. It's almost like it kind of reminds me of when I was working and going to school at UTI in Dallas, because it was a 45-minute drive from where we lived to where I went to school. I would get there super hella early, like, 7:30 or 8. And then I would be there until 6 or later, sometimes depending on the day. I would get home around 7-ish, depending on traffic, and we'd have maybe a couple hours before I would need to be asleep to hopefully get enough sleep to wake up for work. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. That was 5 days a week, whereas this is 4. So it's kind of a thing. But I do wish I got off earlier, but at the same time, I could if I wanted to leave at the time that I can. I just feel bad about not working as much as I can. I also feel bad about not coming in on days that we're behind and stuff. So I don't know. I put a lot of pressure on myself to work more than even other techs do, because by the time I leave, I'm one of like 5 people still there.
And I mean, at the same time, that's exactly the kind of optics that you want for, like, when they do decide, like, do we want to send people to get their Master Tech cert, and they're going to be like, well, she's the one that's been busting her ass and actually getting it done and making sure that her job is done properly rather than just rushing through it.
I know that, like, I think I have to be there for at least a year before they'll send me to more classes, because I know... In all likelihood, really, what it's going to be is there's a cycle at which they consider it. And it may not even, like... I think it's probably going to depend more on your work ethic before whether or not they send you to the classes once that cycle comes up. Cycles come up for classes fairly often. I see Anton registering people for classes all the time. So I think it's more I have to be there for a certain amount of time before they send me. Nevertheless, I have no doubt that when I'm considered able to, that they will, because...
Oh, no, yeah, because you're actually showing yourself.
But I also have a lot more qualifications than most of the other techs.
Right, like, and plus the classes that you're talking about that you see him signing people up for may not be the classes we're talking about.
I mean, the classes I would need to even be fully certified. I'm not fully certified. He gets classroom for. Like, I need more hybrid stuff more than anything. I need a couple more, like, transmission and diesel classes that I don't. But again, I am more certified than, I'd say, 80% of the other techs.
Which is probably, that's honestly you're putting into my point rather than yours, is that in all likelihood he's trying to get more people through more of the basic shit.
I mean,
plus honestly, if okay, so imagine you're trying to send someone off to get, you know, the rest of the classes that they would need in order to become a master tech once they've had enough experience to be called that. But, like, in your case, I would need to send you across a spectrum of classes. Not just, like, one or two. So I have to wait for an opening to go all the way across this specific group of things. So it's not something that's going to be super easy to just be like, oh, yeah, we'll send you out next week. It doesn't work that way.
I mean, no, it's only if chairs are available and if the class is available that I need, but...
Right, so they have to wait for, not just an availability on one class, but on a group of classes.
No, I can go one class at a time.
They're not going to send you to California one class at a time.
They send individual techs to go out for most classes are 2 days long, and they'll send them for one class.
Two days?
Class. Yeah. Okay, so Drive and UTI and, like, most of those are spread out so that they can be more in-depth. Whereas if you are already a tech and you're getting sent by the dealership, they're going to condense that down as much as possible. So most classes are only 2 days long.
That sounds really, really irresponsible.
Welcome to techs being sent to school. Anyway. So yeah, most of, like, individual classes are only 2 days long. So yes, they're going to send them to California for 2 days. If they want to be there longer, then they can take, you know, PTO or just take days off. But for the most part, they send people fairly, like, he doesn't want too many techs to be gone at one time, but he tries to get as many people to classes that they need as much as possible. Now, I don't need many, but if one comes up that he's like, I want you to start taking hybrid classes, this one is coming up in July, August, I'm going to sign you up for it. I was like, okay. But I think I have to be there for a year for them to start sending me to classes. I can verify with Anton, but...
Yeah, ask about it.
I think that there's a...
Show interest, because that'll definitely get things. Anyways.
We'll start with you, Marcy. It's you.
What was the fucking question?
You and your wife. Think about that, Jen.
Oh, jury.
Your answers in a moment.
More sympathetic.
There they go. I'll make it 3.
Was that the last question?
We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Scully. If you have time tonight, please watch it tonight. So my guess will be
Squeeze.
I didn't know that it would do that on...
Right.
Oh, God.
It's because the cropping is different.
No, I know. It's just funny.
Anyways, alright. So we're going to go ahead and go. We're going to get food and probably set up to stream something else. Who knows? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Question mark.
You're probably going to bed. In which case, good night.
Sleep well. Don't let the back quick. I'm like, that's a choice.
You individually tell them all. No.
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 Anyway.
No.
Bye.